In 1943, a mathematician saved thousands of pilots by refusing to look at what everyone else considered obvious. The U.S. Air Force had a problem. Their planes were coming back from combat covered in bullet holes, wings, tail, fuselage. So the generals did what seemed logical: reinforce the armor exactly where the damage was. They brought their data to a statistician named Abraham Wald. He looked at their charts. Then he said something that made the room go silent. "You're reinforcing the wrong places." The planes covered in holes on the wings and tail, those planes made it home. The damage there wasn't fatal. But the planes that got hit in the engine, the cockpit, the fuel line, those planes never made it back at all. The data the generals were staring at only showed the survivors. The real information, the planes that actually determined who lived or died, was sitting at the bottom of the ocean, invisible. This is called survivorship bias. And it's not just a wartime story. It's happening to you right now, every single day. Think about the last successful person you read about. A college dropout who built a billion-dollar company. Someone who quit their job on a whim and it paid off. You've read 100 versions of this story. But here's what you've never read. The thousands of people who did the exact same thing. Dropped out, quit, took the risk, and got nothing. No book deal. No article. No documentary. They didn't fail loudly. They just disappeared from the data. In 2001, researcher Nassim Taleb studied this exact pattern in financial markets. Traders who take extreme risks either become spectacularly rich or they vanish, quietly, with no headlines. The ones you hear about are only the ones who happen to survive. Taleb called them lucky fools. Not because they weren't smart, but because the strategy that made them rich was mathematically identical to the strategy that bankrupted thousands of people you'll never hear about. Even business books fall into this trap. In 2001, Jim Collins published a study of 11 companies that outperformed the market for decades, extracting the exact habits and decisions that made them great. Within a few years, several of those companies collapsed. The habits weren't the cause. They were just present, in a group that got lucky in ways nobody could isolate afterward. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. This isn't just a flaw in old books. It's built into the platform you're using right now. Social media algorithms don't show you a random sample of outcomes. They show you what performs. And failure rarely performs. Nobody posts the version of their life where the business quietly failed, where the risk didn't pay off, where they went back to the job they hated. So every day, your feed quietly recalculates your sense of normal. You start to believe that success is common, that everyone your age already made it, that you're falling behind some baseline that never actually existed, because the baseline was built entirely out of survivors. Abraham Wald understood something that most of us never learn. The most important data is usually the data you can't see. The version of you that tried and failed quietly is not a footnote. It's the majority. It always was. You are not losing to the people you see online. You're comparing yourself to a sample that was never representative in the first place. A sample missing every single person who looks like you actually do, right now, mid-attempt, unfinished. The planes that made it home were never the whole story. Neither is your feed.